Hey, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everybody. We're gonna jump right into it today. Expectations. Big fella, stop putting these unrealistic expectations on yourself. Big time. You gotta stop. You wouldn't imagine some of the things I hear, and more so the things that I'm seeing, just on a day-to-day basis, right? I went into GNC with my son, and I want to shout out my son. He turned 17 today. So if y'all friends with me on like IG or TikTok or something like that, or you follow me on IG or TikTok, I did a little nice little collage of my kid today. He came and played golf with me, and we really had a good time. Granted, he's horrible, but he's out there, he's swinging with us, swinging it with the big boys, and he really, really had a good time. But these expectations, this morning when I went to the gym like I do, damn near every day almost, and I was just doing my thing. Today was chest, shoulders, and abs and cardio for me, and I knew I had to go to the golf course a little early. Sorry about that. I knew I had to go to the golf course a little bit early because we luckily got a fucking early tee time. And then I saw this guy in there, and his name was like Tyler or something. And he great guy, man. I mean, real heavy set, but super cool and super smart. I mean, he may not know you, but he'll walk up to you and fist bump you in the gym. I didn't even know this guy. I was in the middle of my set. He waited for me to get done, and he gave me a fist bump like 2 months ago, about a month ago. So, I thought that was real cool. And today, he came up to me, gave me a fist bump, and I'm just noticing, I'm just like, damn, he putting in the work, but he ain't really like changing, so to say. And then I didn't really say nothing to him because I was focused today. Chest is one of those muscle groups that I'd rather work legs before I work chest. That's just me. My chest look good, but damn, that shit hurt, right? So I put forth the effort, I put forth the work, and then he's leaving around the same time I'm leaving. I walked there. Now, this Tyler guy, I didn't even know lived like 2 streets over from me. And I walked to the gym because it's about a good half a mile to the gym and a good half mile from the gym based on where my house is and the gym located. So I'm walking out, and it's like he left like a couple minutes before me. So I'm not expecting to see him because he normally drives. My man drove 15 feet from one parking spot to the next parking spot, went over into the little deli that's open at like 5, got like, I seen him with the 3 box, and it's got like 3 croissant sandwiches. So usually they do ham and cheese, turkey and cheese, or salami and cheese. He had 3 of those 3 boxes. And I was just like, damn. So I'm not a body shamer because I used to be that guy. I used to be a real big guy. But I wanted to take some time and just be like, hold on, man. This guy, he showed me love in the gym. And I want to show him some love too by asking him, what the fuck, who is this for? So I did just the fuck that. I was like, hey, Tyler. He was like, hey, what's up, man? I was like, bro, who the fuck is all that for? He was like, oh, this is for me. I said, what you got? He was like, oh, I got 3 ham and cheese, 3 turkey and cheese, and 3 Philly cheesesteak croissants. I was like, and all these are for you. He was like, yeah. He's like, if I eat 3 now, that's for breakfast. If I eat 3 for lunch, that's those, and I eat 3 for dinner. It baffled me, man. Like just the level of unawareness this young man had. And I couldn't be mad at him because he doesn't know that he feels like just because he goes and work out, he can eat whatever he wants. I'm like, essentially you're right, but you're not to that point to where you've gotten that lean to where you can do that shit. It baffled me. I was like, so I literally had like a 10-minute conversation with him, and I had to hurry up and rush home so we could make our tea time because my son, he overslept. And I was like, Tyler, like, what you mean? He said, yeah, 3 square meals. I was like, bruh, one of those croissants with the cheese and the meat and the bread, that's 898 calories. He was like, are you serious? I took a picture of it on the app. I sent it to Chat GPT, and I put it on my EatWise app. There was 3 calories apart from each other based on the image, and I put the weight in there. He was like, are you serious? I was like, bruh, you eating that times 9. He was like, I just thought that because it was, I was like, no, bro, that shit matters. He was like, well, I'm pretty sure I'm getting a lot of protein. I said, the fuck you are? I said, you getting more carbs than anything. He was like, well, carbs aren't bad as hard as I work out. I was like, yeah, but you working out and it's not, like, I was confused. Like, what is your logic? So he did not understand. I was like, bro, what are you trying to do? He was like, well, I'm bulking. Tyler, you don't need to bulk. You like 5'9", 280, 290. He was like, well, yeah, if I bulk first and then I cut down, I have all the muscles. I was like, nah, bro, you need to get lean first and then do that. He was like, well, I did notice, like, on your social media, you used to be a really big guy. He's like, what did you do? I said, bro, I've been in a caloric deficit since fucking December. And I was like, the reason why now, if I want to have a brownie or a cookie or a slice of cake, I can fucking do it because I've gotten down to like 12% body fat now and I got the fucking room. And I want to live year round between 11 to 14%. That's it. Like, I'm comfortable at that. He's like, so how much do you weigh now? I was like, I'm at like 197. And I was like, and I'm okay with that. But I was like, next week, next Friday, I'm at least grinding my ass off to be down to 192. And then that week after that, I'm going to be at 189. I was like, my aim is 3 pounds a week, but I watch what I'm eating. I watch how much activity I'm putting out. I'm drinking a shit ton of water, so I don't have no hunger cravings. And he's like, well, what's your caloric deficit? I said, bro, right now I'm on 1750. He was like, bro, that would only be 3 of these sandwiches. I was like, actually, it'll be 2 and 75% of the other sandwich for the entire day. I was like, but look at the stuff I'm eating. I'm eating whole foods. You're just eating sandwiches. And he didn't understand. I was like, bruh, tell me what you go through, man. I need to know. I was like, it's easy. Before I came here, I had a banana, 2 rice cakes with 5 grams of honey on each, and a cup of black coffee straight. He was like, okay. I was like, I needed that because I needed the carbs because I like to front load my carbs in the front part of the day. And then when I got done with that, I came home. I had 10 grams of fucking walnuts with 35 grams of fucking blueberries. And I had my protein shake with some glutamine. He was like, okay. And I was like, because I don't like water, I get the unsweetened milk. The unsweetened almond milk, which is 25 calories per 8 fluid ounces. I measure that. That's just 25 calories added on, and it gives it a richer taste, which is good. Because if you're going to be in a deficit for a long period of time, you have to find things that's going to make you want to stick to it. I look forward to my protein shakes in the morning because it tastes good. When it was just water, it tasted like ass. But I had to fucking get through that because I knew the desired result on what I wanted. I talked to Tyler for a good 10 minutes just educating him on that. And you guys just wouldn't be aware of the expectations that people have when they come to this weight loss journey and the reality in which they live when they let themselves down. He felt like because he ate 3 sandwiches at 3 different times of the day, that was good enough for him. I was like, dude, you don't even burn as many calories as you think when you lift weights. And I was like, how many steps you get on the average? He was like, about 4,000 steps a day. I said, you need to crank that shit up to at least 12,000. And if you're trying to eat the way you eat, I was like, I don't know bodybuilders who do that. So, he broke it down and he asked me like, man, how do I think I'm doing about it wrong. And I was like, you're going about it completely wrong. So, did up a little meal plan for him and everything. And of course, he not going to like it and it's uncomfortable, but he going to have to do that shit. He's just going to have to do it. Because if he wants to get the desired results, he's going to have to focus on the daily intake. It's going to suck. I told him. I was like, bruh, after I did the math, I'm like, your maintenance is like 3,300 calories. I was like, we going to get aggressive and start you off at 2,500 calories. And then we'll work our way down. And he was like, that's less, man. I was like, it may be less, but it's what you need right now. I was like, in 90 days, you're going to feel amazing. 6 months, you're going to look completely different. I was like, I'm living fucking proof. Month 6, I look like a fucking action movie figure or some shit, or an action figure or some shit. I'm like, dude, it just take time. And I was like, and I know for me, I'm not even fully where I want to be yet because I know what I'm working towards. But I also understand that sometimes I do got to travel. And that's going to require me to retain water weight and all this other type shit. And you're going to hold water sometimes. So you're going to have that glycogen from eating too much fruit or carbs or whatnot. And I was just telling him about my activity. Like, dude, I'm on the golf course and I'm still getting thousands of steps on the golf course. I'm going, like, bro, you going to deplete yourself. So I had a protein bar on the golf course today because I came out there with 6,000 steps. I ended the day with 19 or 20,000 steps from being on the golf course for 4.5 hours because we had a long round today. People in front of us were slow as shit. But it's like, you plan for these things. And I told him, like, hey, when I text him, I was like, look, these are my steps for the day. Granted, these calories ain't all active, but I can afford that brownie. I can afford this protein shake. I can afford this protein bar because I was out there fucking swinging and walking and getting it. The level of activity is high. You sedentary, you ain't gonna do it. But he's expecting, because he's eating 3 sandwiches at 3 different times, he's expecting to get his desired results. You're only gonna hurt yourself when you have these expectations because your reality doesn't align with your actions, right? So I tell people all the time, like, man, my heroes, I don't have heroes that I look up to no more. And they was like, why? I said, because my expectations of them lets me down. And I don't want to be anybody's fucking hero. I just want to be a good example of what to do and what not to do. And I tell these guys, look, it's easy to be a fat motherfucker. It really is. But you know what's not easy? Getting up every day to make sure you get them steps. Getting up every day to make sure you picking up the heavy shit. Making sure you eating the way you supposed to eat. That's just what it is. And I understand people want to live their life. Oh, you only got one life to live. Yeah, but I want to live this motherfucker as long as I can. And while I'm living that life, yeah, I don't mind the compliments. I damn sure don't. But at the end of the day, I know that I only have eyes for one person. And that one person is not you, lady. And I don't try to be an asshole. I just don't say shit. I just be like, oh, well. And it's my son, he'll attest to it. Guys, if I'm lying, I'm flying, and my ass is planted firmly in this motherfucking seat. It happens every day now. And Luther was not lying, guys. Luther Vesulian was not telling you one lie when he say lean is rare. Check out those. If you ain't seen my picture on Instagram, or you ain't seen my little collage on TikTok, you need to check that shit out. That V-taper is real. You know, everything hugs the chest, the arms, and the shoulders, and the whole rest of the shirt grab onto the lats and fall off. And it's like, damn, I look small. I had people sending me comments like, is that your brother or your son? I was like, that's my son. And like, bro, y'all don't look nothing like father and son. I'm like, how the fuck? I was like, we are definitely father and son. Like, how? I was like, you look 25, you look 22 and he look 17. And unless you had a baby when you was 5, that's impossible. Look, bro, I'm about to hit 40 soon, and in a couple years, and that motherfucker 17. I promise you I'm his daddy. And it's cool when people compliment you like that because, for one, black don't crack. It do. So I know being a black man in America is dangerous. It's dangerous as fuck, but I love it. You know, I wouldn't have it no other way. I truly wouldn't. But, you know, that's the perks, man. It's like when we get in shape, or when anybody get in shape, your skin look better, you feel better, you're drinking water, you're touching grass, getting sunlight. That's why I don't really hate on the comments from people who ain't got profile pictures and, you know, they ain't got no viewers or no subscribers, because they probably look like shit and want to make you feel bad or me feel bad for trying to do something about it and send the bullshit hate. And I'm cool with it. You know, I'm gonna still pray for you and wish you the best. But while I'm in the gym working to get sexy as fuck, you still gonna be looking like how you look, and your girlfriend and wife are gonna be scrolling my shit when my shirt come off for real. And when that motherfucker come off for real, it's gonna come off, because you're gonna see my motherfucking face and chest and stomach, all that shit. You know, I'm not waiting for it to get perfect. I'm just waiting for it to get to where I want it to get, so I can really ramp up ACA the way I really want to, right? And what better way to get people to trust you by letting them see what you used to be and where you currently are now. Before and current. We're always doing that over here. Like I said, that's a real thing. But that's my expectation, because in reality, I'm working towards that. I'm doing the daily inputs every day to make sure ACA is a household name one day. That when I go to a gym, people not knowing who the fuck I am, I see ACA on somebody. And I think that's going to be a real, no matter how much money come of it, no matter how much whatever, that's not it for me. Everything that I've gotten, I've been forged through chaos. Everything. Nothing came easy. Those late nights, those hunger pains, the depression, the heartbreak, all that shit, you know, it comes into play, right? And if you can forge yourself into the person that you're supposed to be through all of that, my guy, you have done it. You tapped into the Atlas Creed version of yourself. And when you became that version of yourself, now you get to walk into who you are. But your expectations can't let you down by living in the reality that's not helping you get there, because that's how we hurt ourselves. I'm not going to expect to be a millionaire, but I'm not investing money. I can't expect to be a physique model and I'm not in a caloric deficit and I don't lift weights 5 days a week. I can't expect to have the biggest fitness line in the world if I don't put my brand in front of people and I'm not representing it the way it needs to be represented. Your expectations fuck you up when you don't have your shit together. And then you get mad at the process. You get mad at the results. But the hard work comes from the work that you avoid. Straight up and down like 6 o'clock, bro. You will not see success because you are avoiding the work that goes into success. And I used to be one of them people. I used to hate when I see all these motherfuckers on TV ripped up and, man, they got time for that shit. Nah, bro, they made time for it. Y'all have no idea how much respect I have for the fathers out there who walking around, you know, 15% body fat and below, and they still got to wake up and go to work. They still got to be a present father. They still got to be a present husband, boyfriend, and all this other shit that we take on when we become leaders of our households or just leaders in general. You know, it's one of them things to where I got so much love and respect for them guys. That's something they'll never know from me, but I respect you because you are tired. You are beat. But because you made a promise to yourself, because you said no matter how you feel, you going to get in that fucking gym and you going to make sure you watch what you eat. Because now you're doing more than what's expected of you, and you're rare. Luther wasn't lying, y'all. Like, between the women coming out of nowhere and trying to be noticed, making conversation with me, how old are you? You know, motherfucker, you wouldn't ask me these questions a year and a half ago because there was no genuine desire. There was no reason to get to know me unless we was at work and I could do something for you. That's it. But now they have a reason to try to get to know me because it's like, well, damn, you hella disciplined. Even at the golf course today, that lady when we did the little lunch for my son, shout out to Brandon Newey, shout out to Deshaun McKenzie. Thank y'all for celebrating my son's birthday with me. He's still talking about it and it mean the world to him. But, you know, it's just amazing how those conversations change. You know, hey, you know, how you doing? You know, where you from? All this, like, you know, I'm from here. And I ain't paying it no mind. I'm just literally trying to enjoy the lunch with my son and my homeboy. But my homeboy, you know, Brandon, like, bro, you see that? I'm like, yeah, I do. It's cool. And it's not something that you get used to. It's not really something that I even really be looking for. I was just chilling with my boy and my son. But she knew how disciplined I was because she kept trying to, oh, you got to try the Baja shrimp. It is just so amazing. I was like, oh, okay, you got to try the French fries. You know, we make it in bone marrow. I was like, oh, okay. Well, what are you getting? Oh, yeah, I'm going to get that 1 pound of smoked turkey breast with the seasonal vegetables, please. Well, you know, you can have this burger and you don't have to pay for any of this. I was like, I know, but I still want that pound of turkey, 454 grams of smoked turkey breast with the seasonal vegetables on the side, please. So she looked at me like I was crazy. She went back there, she put in the order. And then my homeboy was like, well, Brandon knew what was up. He was like, yeah, he disciplined as hell. He watched what he eat. And then my son was like, yeah, he don't eat no. And this is what, hey, shout out to Luther. He was like, yeah, my dad don't eat no goofy shit, bro. And I was like, I do eat goofy shit. I was like, today is your birthday. I was like, I get it. I'm on this cut, but I'm gonna have a few cookies because he didn't want a cake. He just wanted some cookies from Chip in Plano. If y'all ever in Plano, Texas, y'all go to Chip. That is some of the best cookies ever, right? If you got the room for it, right? So, and that's another thing, guys. My son mean more to me than some fucking cut that I'm in or anything. I'm back on track anyway, but I had a couple cookies and a brownie with my baby because he turned 17 and he wanted to spend some time with his dad. And I would be too much of an asshole to not even celebrate with him that much. And I get it, when you bodybuilding and you doing all that stuff, you got to be selfish. But guys, I ain't getting on nobody's stage and competing. I just want to look good in a motherfucker. You know, I just want to know that when I walk into a room with my tailored clothes on, they know who's in charge. They know what's up. And that level of respect gets you places that nothing else can, right? So, you know, I knew I was going to indulge with him because it's my baby's birthday. And, you know, the way she looked at me, she was like, you could have had this burger. You could have had these pizzas. And my boy Brandon said, bro, this stuff is amazing. The chef, that's why we had $130 per person fucking fee, because I'm pretty sure they paying the chef $80 of that shit because that brother can throw down. But nah, my son knew I wasn't going to eat no goofy shit. And Brandon was like, yeah, he ain't going to eat that. But of course, the lady who took our order, she was just a little confused. I was like, well, and I didn't want to be an asshole. I was like, man, look around you. I was like, how many of these folks in here look like me? And she was like, I was like, I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm just speaking nothing but facts. I'm like, how many people in here look like me? She's like, maybe one or two. I was like, yeah. And you've seen at least 150 people come through here today. She said, yeah. I was like, right. I'm expecting to look like this because of these decisions right here, right? I said, and she's like, well, what'd you eat this morning? I said, I went to the gym this morning. She said, but you got here at like 8. I was like, yeah. I woke my ass up at 4. I stretched. I had my banana. I had my rice cakes. And I had my fucking coffee. And I went on about my business to the gym. She was like, wow, you are dedicated. I was like, absolutely. Like, I know my desired result, and it starts. I can't expect the results I want if I'm not putting in the work, right? And I hate to see people let themselves down when they don't do it the right way. Oh, I'm expecting to have a 6-pack by the summertime. It's May. And you've been eating like shit up until yesterday. You got 60 days roughly in the end of May to get to July, and people expect to drop 10 to 20 pounds worth of body fat in 6 weeks, and then get mad when they get nowhere near. But when they get done their workout, they going to the deli. Or when they get hungry and they feel like they crushed it during the week, they ordering 6 fucking large pizzas. You know, oh yeah, I deserve this. I'll get back on track Monday. Yeah, asshole, now you in a calorie surplus and you ain't getting nowhere. It's just what it is, right? So make sure your expectations align with your reality, y'all. You can't expect these phenomenal results when you don't put in none of the work in your current reality. And like I said in the other video, the longest way to your goal is a shortcut. So you can do this. You just have to expect to get what you put into this, right? I'm not telling you that for year round, for 30 plus years, you can't enjoy yourself, because I fucking enjoyed a couple cookies today and a brownie because it's my son's birthday. And, you know, and I didn't eat nothing else because I was like, hey, you know, actually I'm pretty satiated. I'm pretty full because that protein bar, that protein shake, and that pound of fucking turkey breast got me to my protein goals for the day. I was like, cool, I'm good on that. Didn't pass out, was out there walking, having a good time with my son and my friends. It was just cool, right? I'm saying that to say, guys, live your life. Please, don't get so caught up in the validation of what other people say or think. I'm just letting you know that when you take care of yourself, people think way more of you than somebody who doesn't. Because if I'm interviewing you for a job and you come in looking like a busted can of biscuits, okay, yeah, you went to Harvard. Yeah, you went to Stanford and got all these cool certifications. But how do I know I can trust you to do the job? Oh, well, I've been in the workforce for 25, 30 years. I've done this, I've done that. Okay, cool. We'll be in touch. Okay, let's shortlist him. He's got the qualifications. Hey, Sean, how you doing, man? Say, hey, how's it going? Oh, man, you got this confidence about you. Well, yeah, you know, I made it this far. Just want to see if I'm going to like working here. Ha, 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 that's awesome. Yeah, if you guys don't like me, I'll just get back on the driving range and work on my game some more. Oh, you golf. What is your handicap? Oh, man, right now I'm a 8. Well, no, technically, I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna say 15. I'm like, I'm a 15. I'm like, nah, you can't be. Nah, I'm really like a 10 or a 9. But Brandon knew, he knew I'd be shaving off of my handicap just so I could like keep my points a certain way for these games, these majors. But that conversation changes when those executives or whoever's interviewing you see that you take care of yourself, because it's easy. And then segue into some golf or whatever. Bro, I'm gonna always be myself in general. So whether you like golf or not, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna say, hey, if you guys don't like me, that's cool. I'll just go back to the range to work on my game to become scratch, hopefully in a year or two. Oh, you play golf? Of course I do. But, that conversation will go a lot different because they won't need to question whether I can do the job. They're not going to give a fuck if I can do the job, because in real life, guys, anybody can, unless you're doing something like super specific in tech or math or science, any job they put you in front of, anybody can fucking do it. That's just the nature of this beast. People get put into these roles either because they know somebody or they like somebody and somebody like them. That's it. That's all. You don't have to be a genius to be a VP of operations. You ain't got to be a genius to be a VP of anything. You just got to know the right fucking people and be likable. That's just the truth. And there's so many more qualified people to do a better job than these folks, but because people are trusted and people like them better, they're going to get the job. And that's just what it is. But when you coming fresh off and you in shape, and they see that, oh, okay, this motherfucker take care of himself. So if he take care of himself, I know he's gonna take care of the job we put in front of him. I know he's gonna be responsible for the shit that we give him, because look at what he does. In a world that's thriving off mediocrity, in a world that's telling people that you get a trophy just for participating. Oh, and we also live in a world to where you can't even make a joke anymore because people get too sensitive and they get let go over some bullshit, right? I've seen it. And we live in that world. So when you separate yourself from all these people who's negative, who's mediocre, you're going to look like a fucking star. My son already know my situation, and I took him to where I'm going to be working, and he looked around, he's like, damn, Pop, all these motherfuckers fat. How you going to survive in here? I said, easy. I'm going to bring my own food. I'm going to make sure I'm walking. I'm going to be up. I'm going to be at it. I'm going to be doing everything I can to help people. And I'm going to pack up my shit and go home. He was like, well, I remember when you was doing this kind of work before, y'all go hang out after work and all the other shit. No, not this time, son. I'm going to grind my ass off from this hour to this hour, and I'm going home. I don't need to make new friends. I'm there to make money and go home, because I need to see my children. I need to show y'all some love. And once I show y'all some love, I need to hop my ass in the bed. Because once I hop my ass in the bed, I got to be up in 6-7 hours so I can go take care of me. And he looked around and he's like, damn, Dad, everybody in this bitch cooked. I said, exactly. I said, the first thing gonna happen, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna speak, I'm gonna be cool. But I ain't gonna really say too much, because I'm gonna be too busy observing and I'm gonna be too busy grinding. And because I look like me, as I'm being black, I look like me, and I'm in shape, and I'm a good looking man, and I know how to move in certain crowds. I'm not going, he's thinking, no, they'll just try to work harder to catch up with you. Like, no, they won't. They're going to try to tear me down. Rumors are going to start. All type of other shit going to start, because people get intimidated by shit that they don't understand. They're not going to understand why I'm not eating the goofy shit that they eat when they order stuff. They're not going to understand why I'm going to want to get up and walk around and be active. They're not going to understand why I'm eating only the food that I bring, and I don't even participate in none of the shit that they have. They're gonna hate when it's like, oh, we went out for just some bonding time after work and you didn't come. Because I don't want to be around you motherfuckers. I want to go home. I need to go to the gym in the morning. I need to do these things for me. I'm not here to be friends, right? You carry yourself different, because you know why? The expectations that I will have set for myself, my reality will reflect that. It's simple. I have a goal. I have to reach it. That goal don't involve me making friends. That goal don't involve me gossiping about other people and who you like and who they don't like. I don't like to be quoted, so I can't say nothing about that. I don't want to be misquoted at all, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut. That's going to be the majority of my conversation, because that's what people do. Oh, Sean, you heard about this? Nope. Sorry, I don't like to be misquoted. I don't want to engage on that topic. Just like that. And I'm going to go right back to work. And then people, oh, you just think you better. Yeah. because I understand my assignment. I understand my role. You know, don't worry. LeBron was the greatest ever for a reason. And I know it's going to be a lot of people who love Jordan like he's some kind of magical, mythical creature and shit. The dude can't hold a candle to LeBron. And the quicker y'all understand that, the quicker the world can fucking move forward. And it's the people who don't realize that Michael Jordan is not the greatest of all time and LeBron James is the greatest of all time. They have no, oh, look what he did in the 80s. He got beat up and all the other type of shit. Yeah, you're right. Because the ownership and the leadership was fucking dumb. I'm being honest. Guys, how can you make money off your players if they injured or beat the fuck up half the time? Straight up. And then the level of competition is nowhere near what LeBron got to go through today. You had part-time players back in the NBA because they didn't make as much money as they made these days. It was 2 or 3 people making the most money in the NBA back in those days. It was Magic, it was Bird, it was Hakeem Olajuwon, people like that. People who are household names, right? And these motherfuckers swearing down LeBron wouldn't have lasted in that era. Hell no, I wouldn't have lasted in that era neither, because every time I go to the hole, you get to elbow me in my fucking rib cage, and then I'm out for 6 to 8 weeks, and then your ticket sales go down because people know I can't play. They know I can't play because I'm injured. Yeah, the NBA got smart. You know what? Let's tighten the rules up. Let's make it less physical. Let's make it less all that bullshit. Let's keep the scoring high so we attract more people. Not only did they attract more people to the game, Michael Jordan did make the game worldwide. I will give that to Michael Jordan. But the greatest of all time, he is not it. He's got 6 rings. He's never been swept in the finals. Yeah, but he didn't get there until he had Scottie. He didn't. And all you Jordan lovers can keep, well, LeBron went all these many times and he lost. Yeah, he took an entire team, a last place team, to the NBA Finals against the San Antonio Spurs at 22 years old in 2007. That was the worst team to ever be in the finals besides the 2001 Philadelphia 76ers. Right? LeBron took that team on his weary knees to the finals and lost to a great fucking team. Jordan could never do that because he couldn't get out of the first fucking round. But LeBron destroyed people, and it don't matter. 4 rings out of 10 tries, I don't give a shit. The dude is the fucking greatest. If you don't like it, I don't give a damn. Debate me. The comments are open. But you gonna debate me, expect to be wrong, because the reality and those numbers say a whole nother thing. With that being said, let's have fun with these things. Live in your reality and make sure you don't put no expectations on anything or anybody. Just live in the reality, control your daily inputs, and don't play those fucking away games.